Part 91. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 901. Chapter 901 Can't Leave. A group of people rushed forward, and the sturdy man and the young men wanted to arrest the five of them. The result was that Wu Yang was angry. He was unprepared when he was caught. Now you want to do it again? Don't even think about death. Sacrifice them to heaven? Then let's break up the two together and die early and be born again. No matter how you die, you are still dead. It's better than a bet. After swinging the shovel, he became really powerful, and a large group of people were blocked behind him. The problem is that if you forgive the child for not being skilled, then he fell down on the ground like a horse in the snow. Cause others to laugh. Boy, you'd better learn how to use a shovel before you come back. It's really embarrassing. Now the students of the Medicine God Association are so weak, unlike us back then. Hey, the world has really changed, and the younger generations don't study hard. Everyone actually pointed fingers and ridiculed Wu Yang on the side, which is simply discrimination. Not to mention, people are discriminating. Haha, the doctors from the Medicine God Association are here to make fun of you. Why do you come to Kunlun Mountain to see how weak they all are? I'm not looking down on you even with your small body, you are not big enough to feed the mythical beast. This thigh is not as thick as my arm, and you still do it. Do you really have any brains? Village Chief Gu looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao. The child had not moved or spoken. His expression was calm, without any fear or timidity at all. Okay, stop fighting the lawsuit and take the people back to the house quickly. It's 40 degrees below zero, so you won't be afraid of freezing into popsicles. Everyone laughed loudly. Village Chief, don't tell us, we really forgot, my dear, the weather is really cold here. A dozen men gathered around, ready to grab the five of them. At this moment, I saw Zhang Xiaoxiao moving. The speed was very fast, so fast that a shadow was almost invisible. Zhang Xiaoxiao turned into a shadow in front of him, as fast as lightning. A dozen men in front of me fell down. In an instant. Right? A moment. The whole village was stunned. Men, women, old and young took a few steps back. The men fell to the ground and groaned in pain. Zhang Xiaoxiao put the dagger back on his waist and looked at the house at the entrance of the village. Whose house does this house belong to? The tone is gentle and soft, but everyone thinks it is like the voice of a devil. Some people timidly spoke up. He is the fifth child on the ground. He and his brother live there, and there is no one else. A boy was only half a man tall, carrying a small bundle on his back. He was wearing thin clothes and could be seen shivering. The eyes are bright and the lips are blue. Gu Xian, do you, believe it or not, I will kill you and your sick sister. The man on the ground was threatening in pain, and his face changed color in pain. The boy was so frightened that he took a few steps back, tightly guarding the bundle behind his back. Zhang Xiaoxiao tiptoed. The man on the ground fainted from the pain. Zhang Xiaoxiao clapped his hands. That room belongs to us now. No one can come here to cause trouble. Don't mess with us until the weather gets better. Let's all live in peace. You should think clearly about the consequences of messing with me. Zhang Xiaoxiao glanced at the boy. Is your name Gu Xian? The boy glanced at Village Chief Gu and raised his chest bravely. My name is Gu Xian, can you take us in? I can help you with many things, and I won't cause you any trouble. The same goes for my sister. Why do you think I will take you in? Why should I take you in? Zhang Xiaoxiao was very happy. This child is really confident. She likes to be nosy, but she doesn't mind everything. Especially Gu Xian is obviously one of these people. Let yourself lead a wolf into the house? You are a good person. Zhang Xiaoxiao took his people and left without even looking at Gu Xian. She just changed her mind. The mountain road is obvious and it is impossible to clear the snow. Without clearing the snow, they would have a dead end in the mountains and forests. They might as well just find a house in the village at the foot of the mountain. The reason why I like this house is because it is located against the back hill and is in a remote location. There are not many nearby houses around, so it is relatively safe. As long as there is a house to shelter from the cold, food and other things can be provided by oneself, and one can survive the bad weather. Should be able to survive. Of course, as long as the people in the village don't offend themselves, everyone will really be in peace. If she really offends herself, Zhang Xiaoxiao feels that between life and death, she will definitely choose you to die. The doctor is not the savior, nor is he Jesus. I respect the idea of sacrificing oneself for others, but it obviously does not apply here. There is a deep hatred between these people and they want them to die, so she still wants to be kind? That is a disease. Bai Xiao and the others helped Wu Yang go to the room. There are 2 men living in the house. I don't clean up much on weekdays, the house is a mess. The smell is bad. Fortunately, Bai Xiao and the others are very capable. It didn't take long to sort it out. The house is much tidier and things have been thrown out. Everything that was needed was taken out, and everyone went about their business silently, without any doubts. Ask his space. Having seen Zhang Xiaoxiao take out his coat and boots once, they still need to ask? They were lucky to have met Zhang Xiaoxiao, a companion who was so powerful. Otherwise we don't know how they died. Zhang Xiaoxiao's move just now shocked even them. Ask yourself if they were left with nothing to do. Wu Yang and Zhang Xiaoxiao cut down a few trees near the house and used them as firewood to move into the house. It is inconvenient to walk too far. Of course, we had to prevent the people in the village from becoming malicious again. After they left, the people in the village had already brought all the men lying on the ground back to the village. The open space in front of the house is now clean, and people have left without a trace. With Jiang's small ability, it's not a problem to get a few trees to use as firewood. Just in case, Zhang Xiaoxiao cut down a few more trees at the back. It was divided into sections, and a circle of yards was built around the entrance, so that anyone who wanted to come in had to climb over the fence. These are pure log trees. Not just anyone can come in if they want to. It was only at this time that Zhang Xiaoxiao realized that after his body had been tempered by another world, he could do anything in this world like a Superman. I didn't look at Wu Yang's eyes, which were full of admiration and admiration. Xiaoxiao, boss, I'll hang out with you from now on, you're so awesome. Wu Yang comes from the heart. Zhang Xiaoxian was moved. In fact, I still have a lot of dragon crystals in my space. After I accidentally threw these dragon crystals into the field, I found that dragon crystals can be grown in the fields. I don't know what the principle of this dragon crystal is. But dragon crystal can change a person's physique, which is absolutely no problem. Maybe it can change Wu Yang's body? In this case, you don't have to be alone all the time. The physiques of the 4 people have been strengthened, at least they can protect themselves, and they can fight together in the event of an accident. What I need is a team, I can't just take the lead in everything. Sometimes we still need everyone's strength. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 902. Chapter 902 Inspiration. That night, Zhang Xiaoxiao gave him a piece of dragon crystal alone. It is a very small piece. The main reason is that he is afraid that 4 people will be killed by him. If you can't withstand the power of the dragon crystal, if your body explodes and dies, wouldn't it be a sin on your part? Wu Yang and the others looked at the stone in their hands. Xiaoxiao. What is this for? You let us eat it? How to eat it? This is a stone. None of the 4 people believed that Zhang Xiaoxiao would do this. Zhang Xiaoxiao walked over and took out a piece of dragon crystal. In his palm, the dragon crystal gradually began to melt, and then slowly penetrated into the palm of his hand. Finally disappeared. When absorbing, you must concentrate mentally. Believe that you can do it. You will slowly feel the warmth later. Your body will be different at that time. Don't everyone want to be like me? Then just work hard. The only one that can help is this dragon crystal. The rest is up to you. Zhang Xiaoxiao's guidance time is over. It took almost a lot of effort for the four people to finally get on the right track. Zhang Xiaoxiao went back to his room to rest. This house has a total of 3 rooms, which can be regarded as barely 3 bedrooms and 1 living room. Wu Yang has now become the dominant player in the living room. The other girls basically live in 1 room each, and Zhang Xiaoxiao lives in 1 room anyway. Bai Xiao chose to stay with Lu Yun. With Xiaoyu's physique, if she slept with others, she would probably push anyone out of bed. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the heavy wind and snow and called number 9. Where to find number 10 now? Number 9 didn't respond at all. Zhang Xiaoxiao knew that number 9 needed energy, but she didn't know where to find it. The problem is that without the help of number 9, he cannot find the whereabouts of number 10 at all. I have no sense of number 10 at all. Even if number 10 is close at hand now, I guess I can only be regarded as a piece of broken stone. Besides, at this time number 10 had his own wisdom and ran very quickly. I didn't see how I escaped in another world last time, and I don't have the ability to tear open the space. If I watch number 10 run away this time, I'm afraid I'm powerless. The top priority now is that she has to help number 9 find the energy he needs to restore. The problem is that number 9 didn't give himself any hint at all, and he didn't know where to find this energy, so he just fell asleep. Zhang Xiaoxiao is worried. No words all night. Zhang Xiaoxiao saw that the heavy snow outside seemed to be lighter this morning. But I don't know if it will fall or not, so I plan to go out for a walk in the mountains. Otherwise this energy cannot be found in the house. Of course, there is no harm in walking around the village. After all, this village is a bit strange, and there may be some hidden secrets. Zhang Xiaoxiao went out. The 4 people sitting in the living room stood up as soon as they saw her go out. Zhang Xiaoxiao took a step back. What is this for? Wu Yang looked excited, with admiration on his face, and his eyes were intoxicated. Xiaoxiao, master, boss, master, please accept me. I know you must be an expert in the world, otherwise how could you be so powerful? After I absorbed the dragon crystal that was given to me yesterday, I found myself different today. Master, look at me now. Snap your fingers. A cluster of flames shot up into the sky. Zhang Xiaoxiao took a few steps back before he regained his balance. Bai Xiao also came close. Master, look at me. The gurgling water between the fingers fell directly from the fingertips to the floor. Xiaoyu's ice sword directly hit the wooden board. Lu Yun looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao and put away the cup in her hand. Zhang Xiaoxiao was speechless. Fire system, water system, ice system, and a space system ability. You guys are amazing. Why didn't I know that this dragon crystal has such a use? It turns out that after the dragon crystal leaves the other world, its properties will happen. Change. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt that he was a little incoherent. Does this mean that you can change the performance of humans in other worlds? For example, 4 ordinary people in front of you were transformed into 4 powerful people with special powers. Master, please accept us as your disciples. I have discovered that no matter how hard things are, they will be burned through in front of my flames. Wu Yang was a little complacent, and his flame fell on the fire pillar in front of the stove by the door. The fire pillar made of hard wrought iron quickly melted bit by bit. Although the speed was very slow, the fire pillar was indeed melted. This is only used on steel. If it were used on a human body, it would probably burn a hole right away. As far as attack power is concerned, it is enough. No wonder Wu Yang was so proud there. Bai Xiao was a little frustrated. Master, I don't know why his powers have become so powerful. Why don't I have fire like him? The most I can do with water is that we don't have to go out to get the snow to melt in the future. I'll just get you 2 bottles of water. Xiaoyu said proudly, Master, I just tried it. My ice sword is very powerful. Although it cannot cut iron like mud like his flame, the ice arrow can pierce the wood without any problem. If anyone bullies us again and locks us up in the basement, I will just bring out an ice arrow and pierce the door for him. Whoever wants to lock me up again is just dreaming. This time, being imprisoned in the basement left a psychological shadow on Xiaoyu. She was most afraid of the dark, damp, cold basement. The only extravagant hope now is to hit wherever my ice arrow points. Lu Yun was also a little annoyed. I've observed that my space is only a dozen square meters at most, and it doesn't seem like I can put much in it. And it doesn't have much use. Apart from helping everyone put some things, I feel like I'm not as good as this Bai Xiao's water. Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled and greeted the two of them. Don't underestimate any kind of superpower. Each superpower is only in its initial stage now. You are already very powerful in the initial stage. As long as you continue to practice diligently in the future. In addition, you will continue to grow stronger after upgrading. For example, Bai Xiao's water power. Although your power may seem a bit useless now, you must know that the old saying goes, water can carry a boat, but it can also capsize it. Any element close to water can maximize its attack power in your hands. For example, if you stand by a lake, maybe the water in the lake will be combined with your water ability. Become your powerful attack power. And Lu Yun, don't underestimate the space ability. There are many places for space abilities to be used. It's just that you don't know. For example, in the future you can tear apart space, and the space blade can cut a person into pieces without him even having a chance to dodge. The space created allows you to escape and dodge. Think about it one day when you have upgraded to a certain level and your enemy is chasing you. I can't find you at all. Of course, it's very easy to kill someone. You can't live in space. As long as he is in this world, there will be room for you to play. Her words instantly boosted the confidence of the two girls. They never thought that their powers would one day be so powerful. The faces of the two men were shining brightly. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 903. Chapter 903 The Secret of the Village. After Zhang Xiaoxiao's speech and demonstration, Zhang Xiaoxiao just explained to them the methods of those with powers that he had seen. These people were immediately inspired and inspired. They simply didn't care about eating and went back to their rooms to practice. They wanted to use their powers proficiently and evolve them into more powerful abilities to protect themselves. Of course, it's more about protecting other people. At this moment, the four people's hearts were full of fire. Their abilities were enough to make them Zhang Xiaoxiao's most solid comrades now, and they could not become a drag like before. Suddenly, their hearts became very strong, strong enough to give them the confidence to defeat everything in this world. Zhang Xiaoxiao shook his head. Now everyone in the family has motivation, ideals, and steps to move forward, but he has become the only one who is free. Okay, they will practice here honestly and go out for a walk, of course. They can also go hunting, chop wood, and live a life of farming. Actually, I just want to find the energy that number 9 needs. No unnecessary flowers. Zhang Xiaoxiao thought it must be a kind of plant. The problem was that at a glance, the mountains and fields outside were covered with snow. Flower? How could it be seen? Zhang Xiaoxiao stood outside the door, looking at the mountain in a daze, because she felt that she was not dazzled. Looking at the mountainside outside the door, it looks like bamboo. Bamboo. But with the stars and forests of another world in front of you, bamboo is nothing at all. If he sees a giant panda, Zhang Xiaoxiao feels that he can move forward calmly. As soon as he turned around, he saw a piece of clothes behind the tree. Who? Zhang Xiaoxiao frowned warily. How dare anyone come to them to inquire about information? I really don't know how to write the word death. Village Chief Gu really doesn't care about the lives of his own people. After a long while, rustling, a person came out. Wow! The cry of a child. The cry of a baby. Zhang Xiaoxiao frowned even more. Playing the emotional card now? The boy stood in front of Zhang Xiaoxiao, with a bruised nose and a swollen face. His face was almost invisible, and the little baby on his back was crying hard. Gu Xian, what are you doing here? I had nowhere to go, I was kicked out, they said I was a traitor and I had to be punished. Gu Xian patted the back gently with his hand, but the baby still kept crying. Follow me. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt that he had a nosy heart. The two people entered the house, and the warmth in the room quickly stopped the boy's chills. Zhang Xiaoxiao asked him to sit on a chair and poured him a bowl of white porridge from the pot. Hands for him to untie the child. Give me the child, is she sick if she keeps crying? Zhang Xiaoxiao felt strange that the child didn't cry at first, but how could he cry more and more when he saw him? Gu Xian shook his head, it's okay, my sister is hungry and our rice has been finished long ago. I will feed her some rice porridge later and she will stop crying. She is not sick. Then he sat there with his sister in his arms, feeling helpless. Zhang Xiaoxiao took a look and found that this child was a little strange. But her nosiness only ends here. After eating the porridge, you can leave. There is no room for idlers here. Wu Yang opened his eyes and looked at the boy, then continued to close his eyes. I am busy myself. The boss can do whatever he wants. Such a little guy can't do any tricks. Can't make a move in front of his master. The child's cries gradually became weaker, and it seemed that the white porridge had an effect. Gu Xian, how long have you lived here? Zhang Xiaoxiao needed to know about the situation in the village, and Wu Wanhua didn't know where to look. Better than nothing. I was born here, I was born here. Gu Xian silently fed the child porridge. Where are your parents, where are your family members? A boy lives like this with a younger sister, with obvious signs of being bullied. Gu De is not a minority in the village. Village Chief Gu doesn't care? It was still intentional. My parents are dead. My mother gave birth to a younger sister last year. She is in poor health and always gets sick. My father was collecting herbs in the mountains and wanted to refine the elixir himself. As a result, he was encountered by a highly poisonous bamboo green insect. My father suddenly one hand is gone. At the end of the year, the village chief said that the person chosen to offer sacrifices to heaven was my sister, but my mother disagreed. In the end, my mother jumped off the altar to worship heaven in place of my sister, and my father also jumped down together. My sister and I were the only ones left. People in the village said that my parents had offended the medicine god patriarch, so it snowed, and they were very unfriendly to us. If it weren't for your appearance, I might still be my sister for a few days this year. The boy silently fed his sister porridge. Zhang Xiaoxiao was never able to see the baby's face. Where are my classmates, are they still alive? The boy raised his head, his dark eyes dim. They won't die, they are at least the sacrifices of the village for a few years. The villagers will not let them die, of course. It doesn't matter if there is no food, it depends on how long the snow lasts. Gu Xian's eyes made Zhang Xiaoxiao pause. Why did this child's eyes look so scared? There isn't much food in the village. It does not mean that they have lived here for many years. They should be able to be self-sufficient in basic living materials. At the beginning, I dug yams and other things in the mountains. The mountains are densely forested and rich in vegetation, and there are many plants that should be edible. You probably don't know what kind of environment Kunlun Mountain is. You can't grow anything here. You rely on the most primitive way of looking for food in the mountains. The most important thing is that there are some weird creatures on the mountains near where we are. Bamboo greenworm. We can't get out of here, and we can't deal with the bamboo caterpillars. Fortunately, the bamboo caterpillars come out at night, so we can look for food in the mountains and forests during the day. Now that the mountains are closed due to heavy snow, people in the village rely on their own stored food to satisfy their hunger. But the food will be eaten up, and no one knows what will happen after it is eaten. Goose Hickson raised his face and said, "Sister, I know I am from here. You don't trust me, so I want to ask you one thing. Can you tell me how you got in? I want to go out, I want to leave here. I want to live with your sister." When he said this, his eyes were bright and full of yearning. Zhang Xiaoxiao thought about it. "Actually, I came here to follow your traces. My friend was captured and left clues. To be honest, I don't know how to leave. Besides, even if you want to leave the situation on the mountain now, we don't dare to try it easily for fear of dying here, let alone you and a baby. Even if you want to go out, you have to wait until the snow stops and the road is easier to walk." Gu Xian looked at the snowflakes outside and shook his head. "Sister, you don't know how evil the people here are. I'm afraid I won't be able to leave if I leave too late. Do you know what Wuhuawa is?" Zhang Xiaoxiao tried his best, but he didn't expect the child to know. The boy paused for 2 seconds. "Have no idea." Neither of them spoke anymore. Gu Xian gave half a bowl of porridge to his sister in his arms, ate half a bowl of porridge himself, bowed deeply to them, and then left with the child. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't hold him back either. She always felt that something was wrong with this child. End of this chapter. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 904. Chapter 904 Asking for Help. The snow is still falling. After that day, it snowed again. The whole village seemed to be buried. Wu Yang and the others stood on the roof clearing the snow. Otherwise the house will be crushed. There was no one in the village. It's like there's no one around. If it weren't for the white smoke rising in the air, they would have doubted whether they were the only ones left in the village. The atmosphere is eerily quiet. Suddenly there was a wailing sound in the village. A shrill wail. It was as if the tranquility was suddenly broken, and the entire quiet village suddenly became full of vitality. A shadow stumbled towards Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others. A group of people were chasing behind him in darkness. Zhang Xiaoxiao concentrated and saw clearly that it was Gu Xian. The boy was covered in blood, his eyes were scarlet, he was holding a loose bundle in his arms, and the baby was crying constantly. The boy was holding a knife in his hand, and the tip of the knife was full of blood. The people behind me were cursing and chasing after him. When Gu Xian rushed in front of Zhang Xiaoxiao, he almost fell in front of Zhang Xiaoxiao's toes in an awkward crawling posture. The people behind him also followed. The moment they saw Zhang Xiaoxiao, these people backed away in fear. Gu Xian. If you dare to kill someone, I tell you not to be ignorant. We are doing this for everyone's good. Your sister was born as a devil anyway. She has already killed your parents. Is it possible that you want her to kill us? The whole village. You give her to us, or you die with her. A gray-haired old man shouted. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked over in surprise. What era is this? There are still people saying such ignorant things. Evil. My sister is not a demon. She is a disease. My mother said it is a disease and can be cured. You cannot use my sister as bait. You will die. Whoever dares to harm my sister, I will kill him. Kill him. He Gu Xian hugged the newspaper bag tightly in his arms, but because of his panic, the baby started crying hard. Gu Xian gritted his teeth and hugged Zhang Xiaoxiu's legs tightly. Please. Save my sister, save her. I can be a cow or a horse, sister, I know where Wu Vonghua is. Zhang Xiaoxiao instantly became energetic. No unnecessary flowers. He helped Gu Xian up and saw the little girl who was not wrapped up. Struggling in the boy's hands, Zhang Xiaoxiao was a little dazed the moment he saw the little girl. The girl's eyes were all black. No wonder those people just said that this child was the arrival of an evil spirit. Miss Hao, we are kind-hearted, and we have no intention of harming you. Take a look at this boy's sister in his arms with your own eyes. The child's eyes are all black. Since she was born, there has been no such thing in our village. Peace past. She had her parents killed, and now she wants to kill everyone in the village. This time the disaster was more than 3 months in advance, otherwise we would have at least been somewhat prepared. There is no preparation now, and the people in the village are starving to death. The white-haired old man murmured to himself, pointing unwillingly at his sister in Gu Xian's arms. Zhang Xiaoxiao took the child in his arms. Gu Xian was a little reluctant and stared at Zhang Xiaoxiao nervously. Sister, my sister is not a demon. My mother said that my sister is a disease. It is said that there is an elixir in the Medicine God Association called Guangming San. My sister can be cured by taking this medicine. My mother and my father are here to find these. It was only the injury that happened to Yao Cai. It had nothing to do with my sister. So your parents have the prescription for Guangming powder, otherwise how would they collect the medicinal materials? Gu Xian was worried. The prescription for Guangming powder is indeed in our family, but my parents said that it is difficult to refine the prescription for Guangming powder. My sister's eye disease requires that she practice Guangming powder to level 10 or above. It works. Otherwise, even if you refine it into Guangming powder, eating it will have no effect. There are actually quite a lot of these medicinal materials on Kunlun Mountain. If my father hadn't been injured by those green bamboo insects, my sister's medicine might have been prepared long ago. Gu Xian lowered his head, feeling a little sad. He felt sad when he mentioned his parents. Without their parents, they were bullied miserably like orphans. What are they going to do to your sister? Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the baby with heartbreaking pain. The baby's belly was bulging, and he looked like a little frog. It was much bigger than a normal baby's belly. I don't know what the reason is. Is there any other illness? They have human faces and animal hearts. They actually want to use my sister as bait and put it into the bamboo forest on the mountain. To attract those bamboo green insects, those bamboo green insects have a characteristic. Once they attack once, they will not be aggressive the second time. They can only go back and rest for a night to brew new toxins. Then they could look for food in the mountains. Gu Xian pointed at the old man in front of him. The old man blushed, but he still spoke righteously. First of all, you have only one child. You can't even support yourself, let alone your sister. She will die sooner or later if she follows you. It's not in vain that she can contribute to the people in the village before she dies. We all will protect you. Without all of us, you too would have died early. Second, she has killed your parents, and look at how the weather has changed so much because of her. If you stay with her, she may kill you one day. The people in the village are doing this for your own good. You are a boy. In the village, the villagers will ensure that you survive no matter what, but she is different. What's the use of keeping her when she's already blind? That's a waste of food, and you don't even know what the weather is like now. Even if you can't survive, you still protect her? I really don't know whether to call you stupid or stupid. Having said so much, you are just relying on the fact that they are orphans and have no one to protect them, so you dare to send this baby as a bait so blatantly. If you have the ability, you can go up the mountain to find food. If you don't have the ability, don't go and harm others. Such high-sounding words were used. These two children will live with us from now on and be protected by us. If you want to cause trouble for them, come and give it a try and see if you have the ability to take advantage of us. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at this group of people coldly. This group of people had been exiled to the Kunlun Mountains for whatever reason. However, judging from the current situation, the character and humanity of these people were not very good. No wonder they were exiled here. What the old man wanted to say, Wu Yang snapped, and a ball of fire hit the small tree next to him. In an instant, the tree turned into ashes. Everyone in the village opened their mouths, then closed their mouths and turned around silently to leave. Village Chief Gu from a distance saw the scene with hot eyes. He did not expect that those magical immortals in the legend would actually come to their village. In ancient legends, the pharmacists of the Medicine God Association all have magical abilities. They may be able to control water, fire, or ice. Anyway, any ability makes them different from ordinary people, and this ability can help them go further and further on the road of medicine masters. How did the person in front of me gain this ability overnight? Is it because of the Kunlun Mountains? End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 905. Chapter 905 The Whereabouts of Wu Huahua. Zhang Xiaoxiao carried the child into the house, followed closely by Gu Xian. As if he was afraid that Zhang Xiaoxiao would do something to his sister, his eyes never left her. Zhang Xiaoxiao put the child closer to the stove. The child was frozen just now. After careful inspection, Zhang Xiaoxiao sighed. This child does have many congenital diseases. Not only is he blind, but he also has congenital heart disease and congenital diabetes. Combined, it is truly a miracle that this child can survive to this day. Zhang Xiaoxiao took out a pill from his pocket. These were also the peach pills he made. No matter what kind of impact peaches have on the body of every ordinary person, Zhang Xiaoxiao can already see its impact on people in this world. Those pills are not fake either. However, the properties of peaches that can cure all diseases have never failed, and I hope it will be effective for this child. Such a small baby is only a few months old. Not only does it have to starve and freeze, but now it also endures pain. Zhang Xiaoxiao is a mother who has no way of doing it. She really can't bear to see such a small baby suffering such a big pain. What are you going to feed my sister? Gu Xian asked hurriedly. He just had to rush up to stop Zhang Xiaoxiao. Wu Yang rolled his eyes. Boy, you don't know good from evil. It's not like you don't know who my master is. I will definitely not harm your sister. Do you think my master is a bad person? If it hadn't been for my master's great mercy to save you two today, your sister would have been thrown into the woods by those people outside to feed that so-called bamboo green insect. And what chance do you have to question my master here? Since Wu Yang inspired this special ability through his master's peach, he admires and obeys Zhang Xiaoxiao in front of him from the bottom of his heart. The master said that the east will never go west. The master wants to give the baby medicine, so there must be her reason. Gu Xian looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao. The man blocking him was right. If the woman in front of him was really telling the truth, it would be enough to just ignore him and his sister. My sister would only die if she fell into the hands of those people. He let go of his hand in despair and took 2 steps back. He made up his mind that if the woman in front of him dared to kill his sister, he would fight her to the death. At most, one life is exchanged for another. No matter how powerful this woman is, if she endures the humiliation and bears the heavy burden, she will definitely be able to take revenge. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the pill in her hand. It was okay to give it to an adult, but even if such a small baby put it in her mouth, she wouldn't take it herself. Don't let the child choke if the medicine is not taken for a while. It would be bad if there is an accident. He brought a bowl over, put some warm water in it, dissolved the pills in the water, and fed them to the child bit by bit. Sure enough, the little girl tasted the sweet taste of pills. Without crying or fussing, he quietly drank half of the bowl of potion. After finishing the drink, he actually burped, as if he had eaten and drank enough, and showed a satisfied smile. Although those eyes are still dark and scary, the smile on the corner of the mouth is really innocent, making people feel cute and their hearts melt. Zhang Xiaoxiao took out 2 more packets of milk powder from his own space. The child was actually too young, only about 7 months old. Now he relied entirely on complementary food, which was very harmful to the child's appetite. This child is already physically weak. If this continues, it will really take time to get back to a good state. Since you have done a good deed, let's just do it to the end. Take out all the milk bottles and milk powder, make a bottle of milk powder for the child, and put it directly into the child's mouth. This child is more than 7 months old. He can fumble around holding the bottle with his 2 little hands, and eats it in big mouthfuls, and the food is so delicious. Gu Xian looked at the milk powder and milk bottles that Zhang Xiaoxiao took out and immediately understood that he had met a good person. When my sister was little, she was fed by her mother. There was no milk powder or bottles here. But he heard his father say it, and there are also those introductions in the book. Now isn't this? The little one ate and drank enough and fell asleep. Zhang Xiaoxiao put her on the bed in his room. Close the door and let the child sleep quietly. Gu Xian, I want to know where Wu Vonghua is. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't make any detours. He had already done what he promised, protecting Gu Xian and his sister. Of course, he even did a lot more to help his sister treat her illness, but all Gu Xian needed to do was tell him where Wu Vonghua was. They are equivalent exchanges for each other. I don't know if it's called Wu Vonghua, but I heard my father and mother say that at that time, the village chief said that there were a lot of bamboo green worms in that bamboo forest, which means that where there are bamboo green worms, I heard that there is a bamboo tree growing there. A special kind of flower is called Wu Vonghua. But there are too many bamboo caterpillars, and they are almost everywhere in the bamboo forest on this mountain. We never go up the mountain at all. I heard from the village chief that Wu Vonghua is very useful and can restore mental power. According to what my father said, the village chief actually took people up the mountain to think of a way before, but he never got this Wu Vonghua. Gu Xian's words made Zhang Xiaoxiao overjoyed. 9 is cunning and cunning. This guy was afraid that his energy would not be restored, so he tore apart time and space as soon as possible, probably bringing them to Wu Vonghua who could help him restore his mental power, instead of bringing himself to number 10. Forget it, there's nothing to worry about. She tried her best to find number 10, but number 9 had the same purpose as her. And if number 9 has no energy, there is no way to help him detect where number 10 is. Sticking to find a way to find Wu Huahua, she asked Gu Xian for a long time. What is going on with these bamboo green insects in the bamboo forest on the mountain? After all, you have to eliminate the bamboo caterpillars to find the Wu Vonghua. Gu Xian gave a certain piece of news. There are some toxins in the bodies of these bamboo caterpillars. Once these toxins are sprayed out, they will be sprayed on people. Human skin and bones will be corroded, and the corrosiveness is particularly strong. But the only drawback of these bamboo caterpillars is that they can only spray their poison once. In other words, after spraying this time, there will be no more poison in the body, and it will completely become a toothless tiger. It will take a whole day until the second toxin is produced. The bamboo caterpillar can only spray poison once a day, which is why the people in the village want to use their sister as bait. No one wants to take the life of one of their own, but they can sacrifice their own sister. Because it is said that there are many products in the bamboo forest, and the rich materials around are in the bamboo forest. This is why the villagers are eager to enter the bamboo forest. Also was forced. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 906. Chapter 906, Bamboo Forest. After Zhang Xiaoxiao heard this, he arranged for Gu Xian and his sister to live in the living room and make a bed on the floor. There is a stove in the living room anyway, and since this is a wooden house, sleeping on the floor won't make you too cold. Of course, Zhang Xiaoxiao did not treat them badly and brought out bedding for them and even brought out some clothes for Gu Xian and his sister. Handing those small clothes for his sister, they were all clothes left by his children and placed them directly in the space. Who would have thought that they could be put to such a use now? The whole room was burning with a roaring fire, and it was as warm as spring. The temperature was much higher than outside. Of course, it was thanks to Wu Yang, because Wu Yang wanted to show his ability. Leave the job of chopping wood entirely to him. It was effortless for people to go up the mountain. A fireball passed by and the snow on the road melted immediately. Of course, his ability cannot last long. After all, Wu Yang has just activated his superpower. If he wants to upgrade his superpower, he needs to continuously absorb dragon crystals. Wu Yang and Xiaoyu cooperate, one is ice and the other is fire. Xiaoyu's ice sword can directly chop the trees into firewood. Of course, Wu Yang must burn the trees directly first. With the cooperation of the two of them, firewood is not a problem at all, so there is no constant firewood in the hut. Today's dinner was very sumptuous. That was because Wu Yang and Xiaoyu caught 2 hares when they were in the mountains. The hares here are not only fat, but also incredibly large. A rabbit weighs more than 10 kilograms. You can imagine how heavy this rabbit is. Zhang Xiaoxiao is a little greedy for meat, and he doesn't store meat in his own space. For dinner, I simmered a large pot of white rice and braised the rabbit meat directly. In addition, the potatoes from Jiang's small space were stewed in a pot, which was braised potatoes and rabbit meat. I made 3 dishes, scrambled eggs with tomatoes and spicy and sour cabbage. The portions are generous. It is simply fragrant. Gu Xian was a little stunned when he was holding the bowl. He had never eaten such a sumptuous meal. Even when their parents were alive, their family could not afford to eat like this. Not to mention that there were not many families in their village who could eat like this. Even if it is the village chief's family, they have men who can come back from hunting in the mountains. The problem is that they don't dare to eat and drink so much. Zhang Xiaoxiao saw Gu Xian not moving his chopsticks and said, "Eat quickly. Only when you are full can you have the strength to take care of your sister." Wu Yang took a large piece of meat and gave it to Gu Xian, "Eat it quickly. You're as skinny as a monkey, I don't know how you survived." Gu Xian bit into the meat in the bowl and looked at the others carefully. Tears fell quietly. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't say much. This child has already tasted the warmth and coldness of the world in this village, and I believe he will know how to live in the future. But this is not what she cares about, she has more important things. The next day, 7 people went up the mountain together, 5 of them, plus Gu Xian and his sister. Before leaving, I gave my sister plenty to eat and drink. She was wearing warm clothes and even a little hat. The little one fell asleep on the warm back of her brother. In fact, it doesn't matter whether Gu Xian goes up the mountain or not. After all, Gu Xian has no fighting ability. If they let him go up the mountain and encounter bamboo caterpillars, they will also worry about killing the child. It's a pity that Gu Xian didn't agree. For him, he had to keep his promise. He agreed to take them up the mountain to find Wu Vonghua, and they really protected him and his sister, fed them, clothed them, and treated his sister. He was not blind. Sister, she has felt much better today since she took that bowl of medicine yesterday. As I lay there, I could clearly see that the bulging belly had gone down quite a bit. Moreover, the blue color on my sister's face has also faded a lot in the past. She cried and fussed at night and was unwilling to sleep. My sister basically only slept for 3 hours since she was a child. But last night, my sister slept until dawn, and she and I also had a comfortable sleep. After a good night's sleep, one feels 100 times more energetic when he wakes up in the morning. If he couldn't guess that someone gave his sister good medicine, then that would be a lie. He received someone's kindness and didn't even think about repaying it. That's the kind of ungrateful person his parents say. He will never learn from village chief Gu and others. What his parents taught him was to be a responsible person, work steadily, keep promises, and be an honest and courteous person. That's why this trip of 7 people took place. Zhang Xiaoxiao whispered to Xiaoyu and asked Xiaoyu to protect her brother and sister. I may have to be busy after arriving on the mountain and have no time to take care of the 2 of them. But if you really don't protect them at all, you won't be able to bear it if you really hurt them. Wu Yang used his flames to clear the way, even sparing the snow. Wu Yang is really worthy of the effect of absorbing 3 dragon crystals. This guy is the most talented among the 4. He is also the one who absorbs the most dragon crystals. We don't know the specific level of his powers yet. But the flame can burn for longer and longer, and the amplitude of the flame is also getting larger and larger. Just like when they go up the mountain now, it's just a flame going up, and a road is opened in front of them. The snow on the road melts and no grass grows. There is no way, it still takes time for him to control his abilities. Because of Wu Yang's pedestrian snow plow, everyone went up the mountain much faster. With no effort at all, I walked directly to the bamboo forest on the mountain and walked to the bamboo forest. Gu Xian couldn't help but shrink his neck, the fear was deep in his bones. There is no way, the fear of these bamboo forests is innate. Their parents have been taught by their ears and eyes that this bamboo forest is a place they must not go near. Because there is the most terrifying bamboo green insect in the bamboo forest. He has personally seen people in the village missing arms and legs, and even their bodies are covered with frightening scars. It is said that they are all left by bamboo green insects. The toxins of bamboo green worms are said to be very surprising. It is so corrosive that it is jaw-dropping. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the bamboo forest. The verdant green bamboo looked pleasing to the eye. Even after the heavy snow, the bamboo forest was still green and tall, which made people feel relaxed and happy. However, what is even more strange is that after walking a few steps, I can already smell a faint fragrance coming from the depths of the bamboo forest. You can't smell this fragrance at all if you don't smell it carefully, but after you smell it, your whole body will instantly feel a strong throbbing from the inside out. It's like an attraction coming from the depths of your soul, attracting you to rush into the depths of the bamboo forest. Zhang took small steps, 1 step at a time, 2 steps at a time. Gu Xian said hurriedly, "Brothers and sisters, you have to be careful. The poison of the bamboo caterpillars here is very strong. But they only have one attack method, which is to spray the poison. If they spray it once, they will be like toothless tigers, and they will never see it again attack power." Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled. When he walked to the edge of the bamboo forest, he reached out and took out a bottle of pills from his pocket, and fed each of them 1 pill. Produced by space, let's try it hard to see whether it is the toxin of bamboo caterpillars or our own peach pills that is more powerful. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 907. Chapter 907 None. Wu Yang and Zhang Xiaoxiao took the lead. The 2 of them entered the bamboo forest first. The moment they entered the bamboo forest, they felt that the bamboo forest was eerily quiet, except for the sound of the bamboo leaves rustling in the wind. There were no other sounds in the bamboo forest, not even the chirping of insects and birds. The moment the two people stepped into the bamboo forest, Zhang Xiaoxiao suddenly saw a group of green insects slowly rising up from the thickest bamboo in the clump of bamboos in front of him. Headed. Two black eyes lingered there for a moment, and then popped out of the bamboo hole. Then a group of green bugs sprayed towards Wu Yang. It was lightning fast. Even if Wu Yang had already felt the strong wind attack and wanted to quickly throw the flames, the bamboo green insect was still superior. His movements, speed, and reactions were all half a minute faster than theirs. Of course, if Zhang Xiaoxiao specifically resisted, he would definitely be able to resist it. It's a pity that Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't take this matter to heart at all because he took the peach pills. He also wanted to try to find out how powerful the toxins of these bamboo caterpillars were. Of course it comes from having absolute confidence in your own antidote pill, which works well every time. Wu Yang reached out and wiped away the sticky, disgusting green liquid on his face. That look of disgust on his face. Zhang Xiaoxiao carefully checked the skin on Wu Yang's face. Sure enough, the corrosion he imagined had not come. It seemed that the green liquid had not done anything to Wu Yang. The peach pill works. Wu Yang also saw it, immediately became excited, and waved to the 5 people behind him. Come in, the master's medicine is absolutely fine. Don't worry about the bugs here at all. Apart from being a little disgusting, they actually have no offensive power at all. If you don't want to come in, just wait for a while I walk around inside. I'll clear the mines for you first. Then I believe they won't be able to attack you again. Bai Xiao and Xiaoyu looked at the sticky liquid on Wu Yang's face and felt a little disgusted. All the girls were waiting for Wu Yang behind, and also invited the master out. Zhang Xiaoxiao was not willing to put himself in such a disgusting state. So Wu Yang took the vanguard alone. It took more than an hour for Wu Yang to come out of the woods. At this moment, Wu Yang's appearance changed completely. His clothes and pants were all covered in that kind of green liquid. There were probably too many bamboo caterpillars behind him, and Wu Yang couldn't even hide away. Even he himself was a little disgusted by this look. As soon as Bai Xiao came out, he rushed over and the water balloon in his hand fell down. Wu Yang's body was finally washed away, but he was just like a drowned rat. It is a very cold weather. Although the road has been burned dry by Wu Yang's flames, the air is still cold. The wind was blowing so hard that the drowned rat could freeze into ice cubes in an instant. Fortunately, Zhang Xiaoxiao reminded him quickly. Fire! Wu Yang suddenly remembered his master's words. There are many ways to use the fire power, and the power circulates in the body several times. The surface of the clothes is instantly dried, leaving you feeling refreshed. Master, it seems that this power is quite powerful. If I had known it, we wouldn't have to light firewood, we could just use my power to keep everyone warm in the house. You have such little power but you still want to keep us all warm. I'm afraid we'll all freeze to death by you in the middle of the night. Lu Yun threw a rude word at him. Wu Yang chuckled. Indeed, his superpower won't last long. If he relied on his superpower to stay warm, everyone would probably freeze to death in the middle of the night. At this moment, 7 people walked in. Zhang Xiaoxiao walked around the entire bamboo forest, not missing any corner, but he never found anything abnormal in the bamboo forest. This bamboo forest is just a bamboo forest. Except for those bamboo caterpillars hiding in the bamboo. Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others discovered a large number of bamboo rice growing in the bamboo forest. They were very thick and fragrant. Looking at them made people feel appetite. Have you ever seen crystal green rice? But it is strange to say that there is not even a clump of green grass in this bamboo forest, let alone flowers, trees, and the like. Except for the bamboo forest, it is a bamboo forest, and even every bamboo has nothing special about it. Gu Xian has been following Zhang Xiaoxiao, hoping to see the Wuhuawa that village chief Gu said. But it's obvious that we didn't even see grass when we got here, let alone flowers. The child became more and more anxious as he walked, probably because he was afraid that Zhang Xiaoxiao would not believe what he said. Sister, my parents really said that village chief Gu said that Wuivong flowers grow in these bamboo forests, and he also said that Wuivong flowers are red. Zhang Xiaoxin was moved. In fact, it should be said that their thinking is imprisoned here. Village chief Gu said that Wuivong Hua grows in these bamboo groves, not this bamboo grove. In other words, the bamboo forest on the mountain is so big, where are the flowers? Probably you have to look for them in bamboo forests one by one. This is indeed a bit of a hassle. But it is very possible that Wuivong Hua is really hidden in these bamboo forests with the protection of these bamboo green insects. It is absolutely impossible for ordinary people to find Wuivong Hua, at least based on the ability of village chief Gu and others. It is not said that those rare and spiritual flowers will always have a guardian spirit or some kind of protective animal around them. For example, a poisonous snake, such as some kind of ferocious animal. These bamboo caterpillars are actually quite ferocious. You can tell by looking at the bamboo forest where there is no grass growing. Those flowers and plants may not be able to withstand the toxins in the bamboo caterpillars. Not to mention that all the animals panting here will not set foot here, and no one will make themselves unhappy. Sister, I believe what you say, don't worry. Maybe it's not in this bamboo forest, it's probably in another bamboo forest. Look at the patches of bamboo forest on the mountain. Who knows which patch it is in? We have plenty of time to go slowly. Try to find. We all took action. I saw that these bamboo rice must taste good, and if so much bamboo rice is harvested, it can actually feed a lot of people down the mountain. Village Chief Gu, they probably want to attract these bamboo green insects. I came out just for these bamboo rice. And I saw that there were a lot of bamboo shoots growing on the roots of the bamboo. This time we had a great harvest. The other 4 people couldn't tell when they saw it. These bamboo shoots were really fresh and tender, and they were growing very vigorously. They didn't know whether it was because the bamboo forest was protected by bamboo caterpillars, so it grew very luxuriantly, or it was because of the original type of bamboo. Anyway, no matter which kind of these things they are cheaper. Everyone is in high spirits. Their abilities were limited. After collecting dozens of large bags of bamboo rice from the bamboo forest, they cut some bamboo shoots and went directly down the mountain. After all, although these bamboo green insects cannot poison them, the mucus alone looks disgusting enough, and no one is in the mood to wait here for them to continue to produce venom. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 908. Chapter 908, Good News for the Elderly and Weak. Get out of the bamboo forest. Village Chief Gu cheered and a group of people knelt on the road. 5 pharmacists above, please accept the obeisance of the whole village of Argugia village. Please show your noble hands and forgive us idiots who have narrow vision and lack of eyesight. Wu Yang snorted coldly, Master, don't be deceived by them. I don't think this village chief is a good person. Zhang Xiaoxiao walked away from village chief Gu and others in silence. No words, just a completely indifferent attitude. As soon as village chief Gu gritted his teeth, he had already seen that there were secrets in these people. Of course, the most critical part must be Haorugjiu. This woman is different from others. When Wu Yang was first captured by them, it was absolutely impossible for him to have superpowers. If he had superpowers, how could he be captured by the villagers in their village? They were just 4 ordinary people, locked in the basement, and they had no idea of escaping. But after Haorugjiu arrived, things immediately changed. I didn't see that these 4 people not only escaped, but also had supernatural powers. This kind of supernatural power is said to only exist in ancient doctors. Miss Hao, Dr. Hao, we were wrong, please forgive me. Stop talking nonsense, what have you people done that you don't have a clue about? you just admit your mistakes and think you can get by with anything. I remember clearly how you tortured me, don't think we are stupid. If you want us to forgive, then kill everyone who wanted to know how to make amends with us that day. Otherwise, get lost and stop pretending here. Wu Yang couldn't be more angry. If it weren't for Zhang Xiaoxiao, they would probably still be in the dungeon. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at village chief Gu, who looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao pleadingly. Let's go. Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled. Her heart is too soft, maybe only young people like Wu Yang really dare to love and hate. My biggest shortcoming is that I am soft-hearted. Turn around and leave. Everyone else is gone. Gu Xian walked easily while carrying his sister on his back. An old man grabbed Gu Xian. Axin, please beg them. Seeing that your tribe cannot survive, what good will it do to you? I am very happy to see you all starving to death. If you don't let us live, how can you have the face to live? Gu Xian spread his fingers one by one and held his fingers. It was a rare day that my sister didn't cry much. Passing by an ant holding a little girl in her arms, Gu Xian paused. But he still strode away. Village Chief Gu looked at the backs of Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others with hatred. This is because he hates us. Grandma, what should we do now? Or use some means? Since they are unwilling to help us, we can't stay. If you stay, you will become enemies. This is the truth. Village Chief Gu thought, wait a minute. Since that girl is willing to save her companions, she is definitely not ruthless. Let a few starving people in the village try it. If that girl doesn't show mercy, then we can only. Village Chief Gu sighed, I thought it was her who relied on the rejuvenation pill, but now it seems that it may be my extravagant hope. Grandson Gu Ming came over and said, Grandma, you are too kind-hearted. This is not good. There are some weird things about those people. We can't deal with that girl, but the remaining few are still fine. I can't bear to see those 3 women. Catch them back. I don't believe how Rugzhou can turn the sky upside down. Village Chief Gu shook his head, don't push that girl too hard. They all have great powers. If you push her too hard, we can't get rid of her. Grandma, don't worry. Zhang Xiaoxiao's eyes were deep. In the dead of night, Gu Xian stood up, looked at his sleeping sister, and then at Wu Yang, who was already asleep in the living room. There was no movement in the room, and Gu Xian walked out slowly. In a room in the corner of the village, a little girl and her mother were huddled under a quilt, shivering from the cold. They couldn't pick up firewood without going up the mountain road. They have been freezing and starving like this for more than 10 days. Every day is torture for them. Mom, I'm hungry. Mom knows, little girl, please bear with me any longer, woohoo. The mother cried while holding her skinny daughter. Dong dong. The mother asked hurriedly and alertly, who? The village is in chaos right now. Who knows if someone will be so hungry that they take risks. Auntie, I'm Gu Xian. The woman hurriedly pushed her daughter away and opened the door. A young man stood outside the door in the wind and snow, with snowflakes on his head and clothes, like an ice sculpture. Axin, why are you here? But they didn't dare to let the young man in. Who knows how many pairs of eyes in the village were staring at them. The village is worried that it can't find any reason to deal with these burdens. Auntie, we have cleaned up the bamboo forest on the mountain today. Now the bamboo caterpillars in the bamboo forest are nothing to be afraid of. We found bamboo rice in the bamboo forest. Auntie, you can go up the mountain quickly while it is getting late and no one notices. We must do it before dawn tomorrow. Come out, the bamboo green insect won't wait for anyone. After saying that, Gu Xian turned around and left. The woman grabbed Gu Xian. Axin, tell us, will you be attacked by those people? He hesitated, but Gu's heart warmed. She was still the kind-hearted aunt. Auntie, I was dying of hunger and my sister almost died. You asked me to collect firewood for you and exchanged it for a bowl of porridge, which saved both of our lives. Today I will repay your kindness." He turned around and walked away. The woman looked at Gu Xian's resolute departure, shook her head, hurriedly packed her backpack, and took her daughter up the mountain. There was bamboo rice in the bamboo forest. No matter what, Gu Xian would not lie to them. They did not forget to call out some neighbors who had helped them. 4 or 5 people went up the mountain to smear people. Before dawn, 4 or 5 people returned to the village. Everyone was dripping with sweat from exhaustion, but their faces were filled with joy. The family had 2 baskets of bamboo rice. The aroma of the emerald green bamboo rice was fragrant. They were saved. The next day, Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others didn't stop either. They went to the bamboo forest here. Leave and go to the next mountain. It was Wu Yang who opened the way again. This time Wu Yang was smarter and went up the mountain to catch a dozen mountain rabbits and pheasants in advance. He turned a pill into water in advance and drank the dozen rabbits and pheasants before throwing them into the bamboo forest. It was cleared in an instant, and the rabbits and pheasants were delighted. Normally they dare not go near the bamboo forest. Now they are showing off their power. Zhang Xiaoxiao entered the bamboo forest and found nothing else except bamboo rice and bamboo shoots. They returned disappointed. But this time when they left, 5 people quickly entered the bamboo forest carrying baskets on their backs. There was quite a lot of bamboo rice. They worked hard to pick it. This was food, and it was the food that they could survive this cold winter. In the past few days, the lonely, old and weak people in the village have been helped by their families, so they all followed them to the mountains to get a share of the pie. Many people were grateful to Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others. If they hadn't taken care of the bamboo caterpillars in advance, they wouldn't have been able to get in even if they died. Although it only took half a day, it was enough for the whole village to survive. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 909. Chapter 909 Red Flower. Zhang Xiaoxiao assigned each person 2 hours to search the bamboo forests separately. Otherwise, there were too many hills and it would be difficult to finish the journey. Everyone must adapt to this habit, and 1 or 2 people cannot bear this responsibility. Everyone needs a rest. No one can entrust his life to others. Zhang Xiaoxiao himself is the same. But I need to cooperate. Teammates are here to help each other. The 4 people have begun to accept a new understanding of Zhang Xiaoxiao as the leader of their team. From this moment on, each of them also understands that they must assume responsibilities and obligations in the team, and no one should be responsible for protecting anyone. This bamboo forest is the last one. They have walked through bamboo forests of all sizes in the past few days, but without success. Except bamboo rice and bamboo shoots. Wu Yang and Bai Xiao walked into the forest with weapons in their hands and some caution. This mountain seemed different from the mountains they had seen. The bamboo forest is densely packed, but this last place is different from the previous bamboo forest. The insects and birds chirping in the woods are not so quiet. A tree appeared in front of them. Tall and strong tree trunk with lush branches and leaves. The crown of the tree is at least 10 meters long. The most surprising thing is that the green leaves on the top of the tree are vaguely filled with red flowers. These red flowers have a rich fragrance. Zhang Xiaoxiao saw at a glance that there was a red fruit at the top of the tree crown. Everyone, please be careful. This tree that suddenly appeared, as well as the flowers and fruits on the tree, look extraordinary. Generally speaking, according to the theory of traditional Chinese medicine, these strange medicinal materials will be surrounded by fierce beasts to protect them. Careful. A snake sprang out like it was flying.
Had it not been for Zhang Xiaoxiu's reminder, he would have gone straight to Wu Yang's face. A water column rushed up from Bai Xiao, and the snake was knocked out and hit the tree directly, causing the leaves to sway. She was not brave, she was in a hurry. If Wu Yang hadn't dodged quickly, the water flow would have flown over and hit Wu Yang directly in the face. Right? Ms. Bai Xiao made a mistake. Accidentally knocked the snake unconscious. Just by looking at the terrifying triangular snake head, one knows that this snake is definitely highly venomous. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked around cautiously, the atmosphere was not right. Wu Yang was so frightened that he almost fell down. Bai Xiao, do you want my life? Bai Xiao apologized hastily, I just wanted to help you, but I had to be careful when I was afraid. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I will pay attention next time. There will be another time. This time you will almost kill me. This woman is really scary. Wu Yang cursed and stood up, patting his butt. I let you bite me, I deserve it. Isn't this a tragedy? Careful. The snake head that had been chopped into 2 parts suddenly popped up, and was then nailed to the ground by an ice sword. Wu Yang was so frightened that he took 2 steps back. Damn it, this snake can still pretend to be dead. It has already been cut into 2 joints, but it can still jump up and bite people. I was so frightened that I didn't expect that the snake head on the ground could jump up and bite someone if I was bitten. Now I guess I have to be buried with this snake. Zhang Xiaoxiao calmly picked up the arrow and wiped the tip with a piece of cloth. Everyone, please don't be careless, the current situation is unclear. 3 girls were so frightened that they approached Wu Yang and Zhang Xiaoxiao with weapons in their hands. Xiaoxiao, why don't we leave quickly? I feel like it's eerie here, something seems wrong. Bai Xiao is timid, and it is absolutely impossible for any girl to remain calm when facing a snake. Zhang Xiaoxiao nodded, okay. Let's get out of here first. Wu Yang took a look at the red flowers. It's okay to walk, but we don't know what the red flowers on this tree are, so we can't just let them go. How about we pick 2 and put them in a box for storage, in case they become some important medicinal materials in the future? Yes. With such a venomous snake guarding it, I feel like it's a treasure. As he spoke, he reached out and picked a red flower, put it to his nose and smelled it. Zhang Xiaoxiao frowned. Of course she also had this idea, but she was more worried about this triangular snake if not one. You can indeed detoxify yourself. Even if you can detoxify, the problem is that no one wants to be bitten by a snake. Then, a faint sound came. The 5 people were stunned for a moment. When Zhang Xiaoxiao and the other 5 saw this scene, they were almost stunned. I don't know when countless triangle-headed venomous snakes crawled out from the surrounding mountains and fields. Obviously, the triangular-headed venomous snake sticking out its tongue was targeting the 3 and 5 of them, and it was slowly approaching the 5 of them. Bai Xiao and the 3 girls were too frightened to say anything. Xiaoxiao, Xiaoxiao, what should I do, what should I do, why are there so many snakes? Bai Xiao was about to cry. She leaned closely against Zhang Xiaoxiao. Although she held the machete tightly in her hand, she couldn't stop her body from trembling. Not to mention Bai Xiao, even Zhang Xiaoxiao was trembling in his heart when he saw the endless venomous snakes appearing. Has anyone seen this scene? The main reason is that it is too terrifying. As far as the eye can see, there are thick, thin, big, small, and various triangular-headed poisonous snakes approaching them with eager eyes, and the range is getting smaller and smaller. Many poisonous snakes spit out snake letters, and the triangle their eyes looked at their prey coldly. Wu Yang took out a bag of stuff from his pocket and quickly spread the yellow powder inside in a wide circle around them. Hands out while showing off proudly. You guys are out of luck, thanks to me being here with you. Look at what good stuff I have in my pocket. This stuff was prepared for me by my grandpa. The realgar powder is said to be absolutely useful against snakes. The pale yellow powder formed a circle around them. Sure enough, When the snakes came into contact with the yellow powder, they seemed to be disgusted and began to avoid or retreat. Even Zhang Xiaoxiao had a smile on his face. It would be great if these snakes were really afraid of realgar powder. But she still had some shadows in her heart. She was mainly worried that there were too many snakes. She had never heard of being outnumbered, so she was afraid of these snakes. Although she was afraid of the realgar powder, if the number of snakes was too large, it would cause unpredictable changes. Then, Zhang Xiaoxiao saw that Wu Yang was too proud. When he vigorously scattered all the last realgar powder in his hand, he accidentally dropped the red flower in his pocket. The red flower rolled on the realgar powder and fell into the circle of realgar powder. Outside. Soon a triangular venomous snake pounced on it and took the red flower into its mouth. The other snakes seemed to be irritated when they saw this scene, and several snakes quickly surrounded him. The snake was quickly torn apart by the other snakes. Wu Yang, come back quickly. Zhang Xiaoxiao really wanted to slap himself. Isn't this just a crow's mouth? If you don't think so, this may not happen. Obviously, these snakes were still not satisfied after tearing the snake into pieces. They were testing the real gars with eager eyes, and their goal was very clear. Those red flowers have aroused the desire of these snakes. Wu Yang stared at the scene dumbfounded, and he also realized that it was over. The red flower that fell out seems to have had the opposite effect, and these snakes seem to be irritated now. Looking at the snakes eager to try and cross the realgar powder, he suddenly understood. The realgar powder myself can't stop the snakes. Those big snakes seem to have become spirits. They actually had their own wisdom. They drove the little snakes in front and forced them to test the realgar powder. When those little snakes rolled over the realgar powder, they would probably take a lot of realgar powder with them. Once all the realgar powder in front of you is contaminated, the remaining snakes will swarm up. The 5 men now realize that something is wrong. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 910. Chapter 910 No Waste. Zhang Xiaoxiao tentatively called number 9. No 9, number 9, is this Wuhua? No movement. I don't know if number 9 is still in deep sleep. Zhang Xiaoxiao had nothing to do anyway. Zhang Xiaoxiao is not afraid of being poisoned when she gets angry. At least she can have the secret recipe to detoxify. As long as Tao Zi is there, she can save her life even if she is seriously injured. The problem is that there are too many snakes, and this denseness can easily cause discomfort to people. Now that this is the case, worrying about these snakes is no longer a concern for them. Stop talking, let's pick all the red flowers and fruits on the tree. Zhang Xiaoxiao quickly ran to the tree. Pick it up quickly. Wu Yang looked at the group of snakes and seemed to become furious all of a sudden, and the sounds they made became more ferocious, seeming to threaten them not to touch the prey they longed for. Xiaoxiao, look, these snakes are about to cross the realgar powder. Zhang Xiaoxiao said calmly, instead of worrying about those snakes crossing the realgar powder, it's better to come over and pick red flowers. Unless you have some good way to deal with those snakes, you don't think you can kill them all with your flames dye. Wu Yang was unconvinced. When a flame passed by, he was able to open the road. What is this little bit of snake? It is true that wherever the flame passes, it is destroyed immediately. But other snakes have imitated it. People didn't get close to Wu Yang at all, they stayed far away from Wu Yang, and they all headed towards Bai Xiaoxiao and the others. Xiaoyu was in a hurry and couldn't kill many. When the quantity reaches a certain node, you cannot see it, nor can you see the superpower. Wu Yang came to help. After several flames, his flames became weaker and weaker. If this continues, his flame will be extinguished. But there are more and more snakes, seemingly endless. Wu Yang and the others were all in vain. Zhang Xiaoxiao smelled the faint fragrance among the red flowers. This smell was very peculiar. After smelling it, people felt a sudden feeling of refreshing body and mind from the inside out. Moreover, the smell started out as a faint fragrance, and then it changed. It's getting more and more intense. This smell will make people want to swallow the red flowers in one bite. Strongly stimulates people's sensitive sense of taste. Zhang Xiaoxiao thought for a moment, if this Hung Hua feels the same about these snakes as they do humans. So no wonder these snakes are rushing up, which proves that these red flowers should be good things. She tried to put a flower into her mouth. Even if it was poisonous, she would not be afraid because she had a peach in her hand. The moment the red flower enters the mouth, it feels like a drop of fluid enters the body, and then a warmth rises in the body, and soon turns into a warmth flowing through the limbs and veins. It makes people feel that the whole body seems to be light and airy, and the comfortable feeling is difficult to describe in words. Like being in a state of ecstasy. The most important thing is that Zhang Xiaoxiao suddenly found that something seemed to be loose in his mind, and he could hear the sound of slight cracks. There seemed to be a voice in her heart desperately telling her that this thing was very important to her. Zhang Xiaoxiao couldn't stop at all and desperately picked red flowers from the tree and put them into his mouth. I don't know if this is my own initiative or because my body already has autonomous consciousness. In any case, he is crazy about swallowing these red flowers into his stomach. Wu Yang and Bai Xiao were a little worried at first when they saw Zhang Xiaoxiao eating the red flowers, but then they saw that Zhang Xiaoxiao seemed to be fine, with a rosy face and bright eyes. The whole breath of the person begins to feel different. Suddenly I realized that what these poisonous snakes wanted desperately was this red flower, which must be a treasure. Perhaps there are other opportunities. You must know that there are many legends circulating in the Kunlun Mountains. Many people of the older generation say that the medicinal materials produced in the Kunlun Mountains are treasures that can only be found in heaven. If we can get some precious medicinal materials from the Kunlun Mountains, we will not hesitate even if they sacrifice their lives. Although they don't know what this red flower is, they might be able to save their lives if they eat it. Besides, even if these poisonous snakes don't come over, these red flowers will be ruined. Since everyone is dead, they might as well follow Zhang Xiaoxiao, so everyone swarmed around the tree and started picking red flowers and stuffing them into their mouths. No one cares about the effect of this red flower, if it is really poisonous to death. They are also willing, and Zhang Xiaoxiao Jadukpil has given them great confidence in the past few days. Because of their actions, the venomous snakes seemed to be irritated, and they desperately wanted to cross the real yellow line. However, it is obvious that the last line of defense still restricts them. But one side of the defense line has been broken open, and several snakes are swimming over desperately. Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others took a look. What can they do now? Climb the tree. Zhang Xiaoxiao climbed up and could already overlook the surroundings from her position. From this direction, you can see that many snakes have jumped over the real yellow line and are surrounding the big tree. Snakes are better at climbing trees than they are. Even if they stay in the trees, they cannot guarantee their own safety. But what else can they do now? The 5 people are now all at the top of the tree. In this way, everyone did not forget to stuff safflower into their mouths. It seemed that from the first bite of safflower had already had a strong attraction to them. Zhang Xiaoxiao sighed. He glanced at the red fruit next to him and swallowed it. The moment Zhang Xiaoxiao swallowed the fruit, something suddenly disconnected in his mind. A gush of something came out. Zhang Xiaoxiao fell down instantly. Right? Fall from the top of a tree. Bai Xiao exclaimed. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt severe pain in his mind. The churning was like an overturned river. She could feel a powerful aura emanating from her mind to the surroundings. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't know what this was, but based on her understanding, it was probably the so-called spiritual power that her daughter told her.
It is said that all the medical masters of the Medicine God Association have innate spiritual power. It's just that some people are strong and some are weak. Song Xian has been exercising her mental abilities, but she didn't expect it. After eating this red fruit, his mental power actually exploded with powerful explosive power. This energy seems to be far beyond the range that one can contain, like a child playing with a sledgehammer. It is easy to hurt yourself, but in this case, you are already riding a tiger. In the past, Zhang Xiaoxiao had no concept of mental power. She felt that mental power was something that could not be seen or touched. But today she suddenly understood that this mental power could be seen by herself like a vast ocean. It is boundless in my mind, and now my ocean is turbulent. All her pain comes from this vast sea, which is storming violently. Zhang Xiaoxiao was stimulated by severe pain, which seemed to tear apart her consciousness and her mind. A gentle force suddenly appeared, just when Zhang Xiaoxiao could no longer hold on. Suddenly a gentleness began to swallow up those violent forces. Although the devouring speed was not very fast, Zhang Xiaoxiao could feel the power and suddenly alleviated his pain. A strange phenomenon occurred in her consciousness. Those furious forces began to surge toward him. Then he disappeared. "Sister, I'm here, you found Wuvong Hua, great." The voice of number 9 made Zhang Xiaoxiao breathe a sigh of relief. Zhang Xiaoxiao opened his eyes fiercely. He saw Wu Yang hanging upside down in front of him in pain, holding her tightly with both hands. And she was hanging in mid-air. The three girls behind Wu Yang, Bai Xiao, Xiao Yu, and Lu Yun, were holding onto Wu Yang's legs with their faces red and their ears red. It was obvious that the three people had used up all their strength, and it could be seen that the three people were stuck between the tree trunks due to the pull of this force. Had it not been for the resistance provided by the tree trunks, the three people would not have been able to catch the two of them. "Why are you so heavy?" Wu Yang didn't know how long he had been playing the tune backwards, and his whole face turned red. He. Zhang Xiaoxiao spotted a tree trunk next to him and swung over it with all his strength. After swinging twice, I finally stepped on a tree trunk. "Those above you can let go." Bai Xiao and the others let go with great trust. Wu Yang suddenly lost weight and fell down. Seeing that he was about to fall free, Wu Yang cursed crazily. "The heart of a woman is the most poisonous in the world. Master, I saved you, but you did this to me. Do you know what will happen if I fall? My face." Ah! Then Wu Yang found himself standing on a tree trunk. "What kind of face do you want as a grown man? We girls only cherish our looks." Zhang Xiaoxiao mocked disdainfully. Wu Yang patted his chest. "Master, what do you know? I have a very handsome face. You don't know how many girls like my face. My grandpa said that I have a good face." Bai Xiao and the other three had already followed the trunk to the tree trunk where they were. The five of them looked around, and Zhang Xiaoxiao suddenly realized that there was no trace of those poisonous snakes. Had it not been for the messy traces of realgar powder on the ground, they would have known they had encountered these snakes. They will all wonder if they were having a dream. "That's so weird, where did these snakes go?" Wu Yang murmured to himself. "Okay, don't worry about those snakes. Since the snakes are not here, let's get out of here quickly. We can't stay in this place for a long time." Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others got off the tree. All the red flowers on the tree were picked by them. End of this chapter.